Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast, a place where we focus on the business side of art to help you attract more customers, increase profits, and ultimately live a life of creativity and financial freedom. I'm your host, Andrea Earhart, and today we have my best friend Samantha here in the studio, aka her living room.
Hi!
And we're going to be playing a really fun game called Never Have I Ever. If anybody's played it before,
Yes.
We're going to be playing our own version of it, so changing it to Never Will I Ever, basically reminiscing on our past business mistakes and things we will never, ever do again.
Ever.
And we, instead of drinking shots, like we may have on occasion, we're going to be doing shots of kombucha, the really tangy kind. This is the raspberry
with chia seeds.
the texture, all the stuff. But it'll be close.
Yeah.
But Samantha, tell people who you are if they haven't listened to your past 2 podcasts of it. This is the 3rd time you've been on the podcast, which is a record.
So fancy. I'm a muralist as well. Got started close to, 4 years ago or
Yeah,
so?
it was like when 2020 happened.
Yeah, coming up on that. But I do windows, murals, logos, all the things. Started a second business as well, so things are rolling.
So I had the privilege of personally training her when she first started out, and for about the first year, and then she just took off and has done stuff for Amazon, and now she has her own products company that she started off. And now we sometimes paint. We used to paint together, but now we're just so busy with
Way too busy.
baby and extra businesses and all that. We need to do that. But usually we go on a walk every Monday. So even though our schedules are super busy, we'll try to go on a walk and just chat and talk about business and life and all the things. And so we are best friends and we work together and we stuff like this.
Someone who relates to all the things, the muralist problems.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We have a lot in common. We're like the same height and size and everything.
Yeah,
too.
you'll watch us like mirror each other. Everyone who's watching this on video anyway, we're just like do the same thing and sigh at the same time.
Okay, so we actually compiled a list of things because we had to think it up before. And do you want to start? What's something you will never do again?
Yes, never will I ever paint in the wind. While 30 feet up in the air on a lift, I was painting a silo. And I've got a good story with that.
I remember hearing about this. This is about a year ago or so. Or when was this?
This was in 2020, actually. This was the second silo I did, which was actually a pair of 2 silos right next to each other. And it was super windy. And I was like, oh, it'll be fine. Just up there painting. And the wind blew and spiderwebbed my paint all the way down the silo. It was a very unforgiving surface, just like a concrete silo. And I've never jumped out of the lift so fast as I went and doused it with water. And it was a mistake I'll never make again because you could see it.
Really? Did you get it completely off with water? Or what did happen?
I did. I had to scrub it. Of course, it was completely dry by the time I got down there because it was easily a 15-foot just mistake, just everywhere.
15-foot mistake.
It was like
Only muralists say that.
But I scrubbed it, but the silo has like mildew and things like that on it, so you could see where I scrubbed. And they just one of those things I'll never do again. I guess I have to drink.
Oh, take a
You've
shot.
never done that. I had to do that.
Okay, so I guess I just start off with my recent pain point that I've had. So 2 years ago, I thought it was a good idea to order this memory card game with all my prints. And it sounded so great in person and just it sounded like a good idea. And I ordered it and they cost a little bit more than I wanted, but I ordered like 50, right? Which is what you do in the beginning. You like order so many things that you're like, oh, everybody's going to love this. And then I went to go sell it and I had a baby. So I actually put it off. And so now 2 years later, I attempted to sell it this past holiday season and I sold like 7 of the 50. And I put it out there on my social media, through my email. And I was like, why don't people want this? I thought it was
cute. I bought one. I was like, oh, I want that.
Some people loved it, but it was just like, I just didn't sell as many as I thought. And I think going back where I went wrong was I just didn't even ask my audience, hey, do you want this? And to maybe take pre-orders. So anytime I do anything small like that, I'm going to take pre-orders from now on. But really probably not even mess with anything that's under a $20 profit from now on. Because it's just the amount of work that I put into it here recently. It was like emails and videos and I did all the stuff and it wasn't a ton, but it was more than I put in to promote a mural. And as mural profits are thousands or hundreds. And this was like I had less than $100 profit from what I sold. And I'm not even in the green right now.
Yeah, it's super cute.
I'm going to do a spring clean out sale coming up.
There you go.
So I can get rid of a bunch of prints and whatnot. And I'm just going to throw in these memory card games to my customers. Be like, here you go. And they're going to be like, great. But it costs me like $10 each of these ones of like, here you go. I'm just not going to mess with low dollar stuff anymore. And if I happen to get a whim, I'm just going to get pre-orders.
There you go.
Fine.
That'll work.
I'm going to take a shot.
Yeah,
I'm just so glad that's over. Back to murals. Next 2024 is just focusing on murals.
Mm-hmm. I have that issue with I did a mini print club there for a little while, and I just got tired of it because it's very small. And I was like, that kind of lumps in with the same thing. I have those to give away now. Just like stick them in there. Here you go. Like I include those, because I do sell some shirts every once in a while because they're like this soft, and you can have this too. Get rid of those things.
Yes, the mini prints too. I have a tub of them that I like. Anytime anybody bought my book for the holidays, I put a couple in there. I'm like, here you go. Getting rid of those things. Okay, your turn.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I will never forget to bring denatured alcohol or rubbing alcohol to a window project again, when painting windows, for the holidays or anything like that. And this also goes for murals. I had a corrugated metal job that I didn't prep. And if they're silicone based or whatever, oh my gosh, the paint will just chip off. It'll just chip off. I did not know this.
You had quite a headache with that. So what was it? You had applied paint and then you had to take it off, or?
Yes. So it was command paint. So this is floor grade paint, acrylic. And I just went out there and started painting, and I wiped it clean, but I didn't get off any of the silicone. And some corrugated metal can be impregnated with silicone. And then you're like that. That is what I was told. And at that point, that's unpaintable. You have to use harder stuff or oil or something like that. But really, if you just take denatured alcohol, you can scrub everything off and then it'll adhere better. I did not do that. And so what I had to do once it started to chip off, I was terrified of that. It just started chipping off. I actually had the guy I buy the paint from, they came out, Seminole Decor, they came out to the site because they didn't believe me. They were like, that paint is chipping. And he was like, oh no. But I had to lightly sand and then go in, and then everything from the problem area on, all I had to do was wipe it down, which was great. But for window projects, same thing. There's a silicone in some of the cleaners that they use to clean the windows.
So I didn't know this. We were actually just talking about this before. What are you going to say on this thing? And she was telling me about this, and I was like, I didn't know that you could just clean windows and that spider web doesn't happen.
Yep. And you have to get in there, you really clean it out, especially around the corners of each window. But wiping it down like that just takes that out. It doesn't separate. It's wonderful. Denatured alcohol.
Okay. So if you have a questionable surface like corrugated metal or a window that's not working, alcohol, just wipe it down, and it cause you or save you from a lot of headache.
Yeah. I'll do my kombucha shot now.
Okay. Which one do I want to do next? Okay. I guess so. The next one it's just a silly one. When I first got Shopify, and really any tech, when I first got Procreate too, I didn't watch a tutorial. I didn't do anything. I just dove into it, which is so funny because that's what I teach. I'm like, just watch the tutorial. It'll save you so much time. And I don't even take my own advice. And so for Procreate, I had it for a whole year, didn't watch anything, just tried to wing it. And I just could have saved so much time if I just watched a 20-minute YouTube video. But it's the same thing of on my Shopify back when we were doing shipping together and we would ship out my prints together.
Yeah.
And I showed you, I was like, hey, if you just connect Shopify to this other drop shipping service that I paid extra for, and we used it, and it worked well, but I didn't know that if I just, spent some time getting to know my website, I could have just there's a whole shipping system right in Shopify that I could have saved money. It's easier. You don't have to copy and paste. It's so easy. I love Shopify. This is not sponsored by Shopify, but I totally would. I love it so much. But it's just the tech of it. I look back and I think we were snapping the other day, and I was like, entrepreneur problems, things you just don't know until. And so now when I dive into something new, I'll watch the intro video. I'll watch the little videos that take you around the different things, like this podcast stuff, and just learn before, and not just try it on my own.
That's the best. I loved that you double checked with me too, because whenever I started shipping for my new company, she was like, oh, just so you know, are you using Shopify? Are you doing the wrong thing? Like, I was like, okay, thank you.
Did you find out the shipping? So a customer asked to ship to London or something?
I haven't encountered it yet.
Okay.
They haven't ordered yet.
Okay.
They will. That's with it yet.
This is the perks of having a best friend in the same industry. Like we have the problems, like, and all the things. And we're just like, hey, don't do that because it messed up my spray gun. Don't do that.
Yeah, you're buying that? Okay, this is what you should do and shouldn't do.
Really, what I'm hoping for your products companies that you like meddle in ads and figure out Facebook ads and Google ads that I don't have to do it.
I will definitely be doing that. Okay, yes, definitely.
Okay, shot of kombucha.
Okay, another thing I will never do again, especially since I have my new company, I will not leave brushes out in the heat or the wind for them to get ruined. You get like a crispy brush, like you set it down, 5 seconds later you go to get it. Now that I have the kit, I just wash them out.
Okay, so show me this kit. She made a company called Mural Company Products, and this is her kit. Then, so we brought it on camera here, but we're going to also explain on the audio. So I'll hold it if you want to just pull some stuff out.
Definitely. So it comes with all the essentials. It's got 2 rags, tape. It's got a tape measure. It comes with 13 brushes. It comes with dry erase markers for windows, chalk, a level, scraper, 3 really nice brushes, and soap because it comes with 2 durable containers for soapy water and clean water to wash your brushes on site. And then you can carry it in this big crate.
So it will help your brushes from getting all crusty, like because you put your brushes in the soapy water first.
You wash them out in the soapy water and then you rinse them out in the clean water and then you can dab them dry on a rag and then just start painting again with a fresh brush so they don't ever get crispy
or die. So they don't die. Yeah. Like, don't kill your brushes. Perfect. Yeah. And it comes in all one crate, so you can just haul it with you, and it's just super organized and clean every time. Samantha's a very clean person, so of course she introduced me to this. She's like, changed my life.
Very germaphobe-esque. I'm like, how can I? Because I don't know how many times like I also am like a creature of habit. I'm sure like a lot of you too. I like to use the same brush. Like I'll get going with one brush and you just want to use that one, but you have like to switch from cool color to a warm color, and you're like, all right, I don't want to mix, and you can just wash it out. So that's also something I loved.
Perfect. Yeah. And you have a drop cloth in there too, and like everything.
Drop cloth, and it all fits right in it. And then 2 other containers to hold all the rest of the supplies.
Perfect.
Very compact.
So if you're thinking of doing windows, if we haven't scared you off from doing windows, or you're doing murals in 2024, check out muralcoproducts.com. And if you use, is it code Andrea, right?
Yes.
Code Andrea for $30 off, right?
$30.
$30. Whole $30. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm actually making no money on this too, because I was like, I would rather give a discount, a higher discount, and make it people more apt to buy it. So I'm like, she's my best friend, and I think that this is a really cool idea. And if you're looking to do murals, I highly recommend it. It's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So this is one that I say will I ever again, but I've been saying that for a long time. Never will I ever not take a deposit before doing a sketch or a mock-up or anything, but even this year, I've done that a couple times because the customer sounds so sure. And I was actually in a meeting with this really big company here called SRC. They're like a really big one. And I went to their warehouse and everything, and I was so excited. They had 2 big ones, and they're like, we just need a little bit something to show, to talk people into. So I did 2 mock-ups, and then that was at the beginning of last year, and they just have ghosted. And I'm like,
the ghosting. Oh my gosh.
They just seemed so sure. It was going to be like a $20,000 project. So I was like, okay, I'll just do a little bit. And it's like nothing. And I emailed them the other day to follow up again, and they're like, ghosted. Okay, whatever. It's just, I guess, just the lesson of taking a deposit to make sure that they're actually serious.
Skin in the game makes people keep going, to make sure that they're actually really interested before you do extra work.
They're not just like meddling around in something. Like I guess part of me is like, they just needed to show to their board, and then that'll talk them into it. And they still just need to do a deposit. Also that, and on the mock-ups, it's just making sure I have a full idea of the vision that they have. And I don't typically do mock-ups for like the actual line by line thing. I'll just give a bunch of pictures and then sometimes a detailed like just sketch and whatnot, but it's typically not like the exact thing. But now I know questions to ask. What do you not like? What colors do you not like? What do you like? And so just giving them a little bit of a mock-up, but just asking so many questions to get to that final design in my head so I can actually give them what they want, because that's what it is. It's all commission work. We don't really paint what we want.
Yeah, no kidding. I've done that so many times too. So I'm going to drink as well.
I'll pour you a shot. Here you go.
Perfect.
The chia seeds are like at the bottom of this thing. Maybe we can get to the bottom of it. Cheers.
Cheers. Not seeing a wall before you just agree to it and then go ahead and quote the project. Not doing that ever again. Send me a picture. Let me come out and let me see the wall. Like, just make the trip. For example, showed up to this wall and it wasn't anything like I thought it would be. I'm sure you've done that before too.
Yeah.
Like the different textures and things. And then there was another project where I underestimated just how big it was and the stretch of the wall. And then the way that I laid out the mock-up that the customer had approved and everything like that, it just didn't fit the wall. There was like an extra 40 feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't make this piece of the mock-up that big. And so I had to redo the whole thing. Ended up perfect. But still, it's just like a whole extra day that I lost from not going out and just seeing the wall for what it was and really breaking it down to scale. So I use Procreate and I put in the dimensions of the wall and then it just stretches everything out and just makes it way better.
Yeah.
Won't do that anymore.
And so on that topic, so I was with Kaylee, one of our really good friends. She's also now a muralist. So we've inspired her and we're training her. And she came with me to a project in Arkansas and I didn't want to drive down there. And they had sent me a photo, but it looked really big. And so we pull up. And I looked at her, I'm like, this wall isn't as big as I thought it was. And we're like, it's like you play that like roulette game sometimes especially when it's like in Kansas City or wherever. I'm like, send me dimensions and send me a picture, but you still like, it's hard to imagine. And especially the texture. Yes, sometimes I forget to ask, hey, can you give me a close-up version, like a close-up picture? So,
and then a really detailed logo or something on, say, brick. You're like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me twice as long. And you got to quote it appropriately. It's never again.
Yeah. Okay. So mine is, so I've mentioned this a million times. I mentioned it in my book and I was trying to do ones that I hadn't done in my book, but I just have to with the whole not firmly stating the price and using a contract before doing a mural or a window. So I do have to confess, I rarely use a contract now.
I know.
I do on big jobs. If it's over, like, if it's like $5,000 or over, but if it's a small, like a kid's room or something, I just don't. Do you do it every time?
I do a contract if it's over 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, I can play around with 1,000. I can do that. If it's like over 1,000, I'm like, here's the standard contract and you should sign this before you get started. Eliminating any of the worries I have, I do.
But like for the one that I went to court for, it was over $500. I guess use a contract no matter what. But what that really taught me was to just be really firm on if they ask for something more and not assume that they know it's going to be more. I still have a little bit of a towards that, but it really taught me to just be very clear on what the price is. Like I had this recent one that I had in Kansas City. I made her tell me, I was like, okay, so it was a multi-room, but they were really on a budget. And so anytime they're really tight, I'm like, oh, okay, so what can I not go over per room? And we settled on $2,000 per room. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And some went a little bit under. So I knew I could go a little bit over on another one, but I knew the exact number they're trying to stay within. So they knew how many rooms they gave me and all the things.
Super smart. Just because then if you're upfront with the price and everything and you're starting to paint or before you paint, you're like, okay, it's going to be this much. I had a project that was like that and it was like retro themed. And what she was asking for was like so much more work. And they don't realize it a lot of times. They have no idea how much time it's going to take us to do things. And so it's okay, does that fit in your budget? This is how much it's going to be. And then they backpedal and they're like, nope, it's good how it is. Great. Good. Saves me time that I didn't schedule for. I'm just going to pour myself one too because
we're starting to get down to the chia seeds.
Okay.
Or, is it chai or chia seeds?
It's chia seeds.
Cheers. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Cheers. We're so healthy. Okay, your turn. Yeah.
Okay. This one I did not know. I was actually on a construction site and I had a construction worker tell me this because anyway, I will never drop a level and then take it for the truth anymore. Okay. So I dropped my level and I was up there and I was doing a straight line, like a whole hallway of a straight line, okay, all the way across. And I get down and Kaylee, she was painting with me, our friend, we look up at the wall and it's just declining. And I'm like, that is not a straight line. Oh my gosh, what is wrong? And I kept redoing it. I'm like, what is wrong here? And I was like, oh, it's the wall. And then this construction guy just comes up and just crosses his arms. And he's, I think it's your level. I was like, no, sir. I was like, this is a level. It's fine. He's like, did you drop it? I'm like, all the time. And he handed me his, totally worked fine. had no idea that was a thing. Okay.
I didn't know.
Yeah. You can totally jack up a level. Don't drop it. But if I drop one from now on, I'll be like, oh, well, it's dead. Okay. It was one of those big ones too. I had the really big ones and it's off. It's crazy, but it is off.
I'm like the anti-perfectionist. Like I have a level with me, but I don't know why. I'm just like, no, I can do this without. I can just do it with tape. I was recently doing my last project, which is a beach, and I taped off the horizon line, and I was like, that's close enough. And I took it off, and it went down slightly on the left. And I'm like, I'll just add a tree over there.
Just add something over. Just fine.
I don't know why I hate technology and things like that. No, I can do it on my own. No, I can't.
What I need is one of those laser levels. We just put it on the wall, because this was, again, like another retro where it was just straight line all the way down the wall before it curves down, curves up, and those lines. And I had multiple straight lines that I was messing up. Never again.
That's awesome. No, I had no idea. So this one, we were talking about yesterday or the day before. And so whenever I started the Artist Academy, I was business savvy, but not as much as now, 5 years later. And now I know. And I think any good business person would tell you too, you have to have whatever your business name is, you have to have the .com with it. And I got artistacademy.co. I was like, that's close enough, because artistacademy.com was taken, and it's for sale right now for like $25,000 or something. It's something stupid. And I was like, no, I'm not paying that. It is. And also, so I have artistacademy.co, and I refer people to that. And it's always worked pretty fine, especially because the .com hasn't been bought yet. But I know that I'm going to be in trouble when somebody buys that .com. And I've just been putting it off and thinking like, I'll deal with that when I get there. So just putting it out there might be a rebranding at some point. So hopefully nobody buys it. Hopefully, I've emailed them so many times, and they've emailed me because they know I'm interested. And every time they're like, are you interested this year? Like, we email every year. And I'm like, yep, gosh, I will buy it for $1,000. I say that every time. And they're like, you need to get closer to our asking price. And I'm like, no,
it's ridiculous.
It's like stealing. I hate it. It's like that. That's your business model, is just like think ahead and then charge people. This is my business. Come on. Also, I should have bought artistsacademy.com. So artists with the S, because recently somebody has made an artists.com, and it's just like mine, but it's with multiple artists, and they teach artists the same thing. And people have signed up for it, and then they email me saying they can't log into mine. And we finally figure out what's wrong. And I'm like, go to that company and ask for a refund ASAP. I'm so sorry this happened. Go to my website. So it's already a problem. And I'm like, so I don't really know what to do. If you guys think of how I can rebrand, because we mostly do murals now, but we also do the 4th quarter success plan and challenges and stuff. But I chose artistacademy.co because it was pretty generic. And I've gotten a lot of traffic from people just typing in Artist Academy, because that's like one of the first things you come to mind when you want to learn about art and painting and whatnot. So I don't know. But whenever I first started out, I bought AndreaEarhart.com, Art by Andrea Earhart, artbyandreae.com. And I own so many, but this one is just, also it's really hard changing your last name. I'm super jealous that you didn't have to do that.
I know. I think about that from time to time. I'm like, I still have to do both, but just like a flex too. She's like, I can't change my last name, so I'm too famous.
Nobody can spell it or pronounce it, but I'm keeping it. Yeah, Andrea Earhart. Yeah, my name is actually Andrew Sanders, for anybody who doesn't know, but like Sanders is like not as artsy.
Yeah, just everyone would know how to spell that. What fun is that?
Oh, I know. I just want Art by Andrea, but that's taken. It's like, man, I wish middle school me would have just gotten Art by Andrea for fun online. I'm so I don't know. I'm up for any suggestions. That's my current struggle at the moment. Yeah. I'm just going to pour lots of chia seeds in this.
There you go. Yeah, mine was like straight chia seeds last time. Yeah, we'll have to brainstorm, rebrand.
Yeah.
I bought all of the ones from Mural Co. and Art by Samantha Cox because of our conversation. I was like, cool, I'll just buy all of these then. Because how many Samantha Coxes are there? Tons.
Are there?
I'm sure.
There's a lot of Andrea Sanders.
Very common. Yeah. I don't have to worry about spelling.
Actually, I do. People are stupid. Tell them what they spell.
They're like, is that with a CK? No, sir, it's not. Wow.
COX.
Oh my gosh. Because, we're like Harry Potter fans. We can't name our kid Harry Cox or Anita.
Oh God. I think that's all we have. Is that all you have?
Yeah,
Okay.
those are all the ones I have.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this nonchalant episode.
Relaxed.
And that's all we have for today. I guess one last plug. Samantha has started a new company this year, and mural.com. And again, she has a kid. So if you're wanting to get into murals or windows this year, which I highly recommend it because that's almost all I do now, no more little stuff, like hardly any canvases. That's murals are where the money's at. And so she made a kit and it has everything in it. And also use the code Andrea for $30 off.
$30 off. Incredible. And there's going to be more products too. This is the first one. This is the one that I thought would help the most. So that's what we're starting with. There's going to be more products in the future too. It's going to be exciting.
So I was just interviewing somebody the other day for this popular podcast, and they were like, "Hey, have you found that palette yet?" And I was like, "Actually, my friend is making it." So it's going to be a mural palette with big cups in it, and it's going to hold a lot of the mural paint. And it's going to have a lid and the whole thing.
Everything.
There's nothing out there like it, and it's coming. So go follow on Instagram, and you'll see when it's coming. Hopefully this year.
Yeah, we're hoping within the next few months, actually.
Oh my God.
We'll do a launch and everything.
Okay, cool. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Artist Academy podcast. I've been putting out at least one episode per week for more than 4 years on this podcast, and it's really cool to see those download numbers go up and up as time goes on. And that's because artists like you listen and share these episodes. So really, when I say thank you, I mean it. It's really cool to see progress along the way. And anyway, if you like this type of art and business content, then I highly encourage you to get the audio version of my book, Mural Money, with over 15 hours of listening inspiration. I'm currently running a special of just $17 for the audio version. You can go to muralmoney.com to find it. And that comes with a bunch of extras like my art supply list, my pricing guide, recommended book and podcast list, and so much more. I filled that book with tips from my art journey of building a profitable mural career. Plus, I've included the best of the best advice from guests I've interviewed on this podcast. It's the most affordable all-in-one book of advice on art and business that I have. And if you enjoy listening to me here, then I know you'll like the book too because I read it myself. All 15 hours of it. The book is available on Amazon and Audible normally for $25, but if you go to muralmoney.com, that is where you can grab the special $17 deal while it lasts. If you haven't listened to my book yet, this is your sign to do it. Again, normally $25. I'm running a special for $17, but you have to go to muralmoney.com. That's where you can grab the audio version of it. And that's all I have for you today. So I will see you next week for another episode of the Artist Academy podcast.